Okay, folks, good morning. Screen looks kind of small. I'm used to seeing it vertical now. But we decided to film through the computer because I need to use my phone this morning. Okay. Let's move this off to the side. We'll need it in a moment. We got to take a look at some stuff beforehand, but let's see if we can put that in a place that's not going to fall down. All right, we will need this. We don't necessarily need this right now. All right, keep our area clean because it's crazy. I did kind of a pickup. There's kind of a pile of stuff over here. It's not too bad. Spare parts, etc. Put everything back together. It gets chaotic when you're working on one thing after another. And, well, that's just the nature of it. Especially on the right-hand side of me where everything ends up ending up. So, so we just got done with, what last build did we do? I don't even remember, but I did get this, this case in that came in. I had nowhere to put this Gasland cars I've been working on. So we got this right here. And got it off of Amazon. It's pretty well built, a little scary putting it up, but I've actually never seen that it has like these little like the little brackets that have like teeth, like the little brass. They're like little brass brackets that are long, and they have teeth on the bottom, on the back of them. And they actually gave you three, one on each side, one in the middle, one on that on the left side at the top, obviously in the back. And they gave you these brackets that were really heavy duty, made out of like steel or something like that. That is actually what you mount to the wall. And then you mount those teeth things on it. So it's pretty secure. The only thing is, for whatever reason, is the teeth are, relatively short. So yeah, I guess the more weight you have on it, the more secure it'll be, because it'll be held down. But anyways, I have to get over it. Maybe when I was expecting the first day I put it up to end up being on the ground or something like that. But mainly the attachment point between the teeth that are on the case and the metal brackets on that's the weak point. Like the metal brackets, they're not going to come off the wall. I got drywall screws that are super deep. And but anyways, this is where we got all our cars. And did it count 58? They're not all in here because the larger ones don't fit. You can actually remove these levels where you can basically make it this tall instead of just being this tall, but then you give up enough extra space that I can't get all the cars in. So I put like the I think it's 4 or 5 of the taller vehicles that don't fit in here, but then I don't have enough space for all the cars. So 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other. So now that I'm thinking about it, I actually may be able to fit them all. Might actually be able to fit them all. Huh. Because 1, 2, 3, 4. I put some of these and I got 6 cars in them if they're the short ones that don't have Rams. So like this one has 6 in a row, that one has 6 in a row, that one has 6 in a row, that one has 6 in a row. Let me go ahead and do that while everybody's coming in before we get started. I'd like to have everything in here. And besides, if it falls down, that'd be great to get on camera, wouldn't it? Okay. Let's get this the hell out of the way. Let's see if we can bring this closer. Okay. Yeah, so I've got some space in here. But all these cars are longer cars. So if we move, and the Rams really make a difference. We'll scoop that guy underneath that one. And scoop this one here. I haven't even used that Torino yet. Good looking car. Yeah, see, I've got wasted space here. I can't really do anything with it on that row. think with this new arrangement, I actually can remove and put the big ones down there. Oh, this is a wreck. Literally. I don't care that much about these things, you know. It's just the three wreck things. It's scenery. Alright, so. And now we can just remove this. And it's solid. I think it's made out of some kind of plastic. It's actually pretty nicely made. And then we can get the big boys in here. And now we'll be officially out of space. But when I hung this, I actually did it in a way that another one fits underneath it. I don't have it yet, but Rasta Blasta had to be all the way down here. It's too tall with that minigun at the top. It's funny, they call it a minigun, but it's huge. Ain't nothing mini about it. Okay, there we go. Bam. Now they're all in here. 58. I didn't count the Rex in the 58. You fit in there? Yeah. Yeah. Your scenery. Fuck you. So that's the 58 cars I've gotten done. And like I said, if you take one level out, and these are actually, one of the reasons I got these was, I actually didn't realize they were plastic. It's nice. I mean, it was $120. You know, it wasn't cheap. But I wanted one that was secure, that was well made, because, you know, there's a fair amount of weight on here. They are die cast. So, that's where we're at. That's where we're starting from. So, I guess at some point I need to get another one. So, anyhow, they look pretty cool. So anyway, so the rocket guy, the guy with the rockets, the crushed car with the rockets. Rocket Reckoning. He's about to have some teammates. And by teammates, I use that kind of loosely because, you know, I don't have strict things where this guy can only operate if he's operating with these guys. You know, you have some flexibility, right? So, let's go over here. Push this thing back. And I got this car yesterday. I finally found it. I was looking for it for a long time, this truck. And my buddy Joe made a comment, hey, make it a killdozer. I'm like, which doesn't really go with the look of that car at all. But it made me think, maybe I should do a killdozer. Or something like that. You know, I wouldn't call it killdozer. That's a bit unoriginal, right? So, but let's look at what construction vehicles I have and what we can use them for the next build. Because I have a few of them. I actually had two of my own, but they're in the bottom of the pile. So we're gonna mess with the ones that Marty gave me. They're yellow and or orange. Okay, and let's look at what we have here. So we have this street cleaver. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's considered a street cleaver. I like this. This just looked like it had some just murdering asshole written all over. I mean, it's even got a wing to pick up speed. Oh no, it's not a wing. It's going to be a wing in this game. And then we got a front end loader. We got here's your killdozer. Got another type of front end loader, or is it the same one just in better shape? No, it's similar. These that are in safety orange. Man, that's bright. The cement mixer. The truck that's not the scale. I think that's all of them. It's the Constructicons. Man, I so badly want to paint up a bunch of mid-80s style Transformers and play a BattleTech type game with them. And they make them. They actually, somebody 3D prints them, and they're like $15 to $20 a piece. I'm like, I don't want them that badly. But that would be cool. Good morning, Ben. Sorry I didn't reply. I've been busy, tired. Was running on 500 calories a day since Tuesday. Wow, you didn't realize you were in a Japanese prison camp. Go eat a sandwich. So, obviously, this is the Killdozer itself. What is this? A Hot Wheels 1991. So what I'm going to do is, I normally wouldn't repaint these, but I can't use this color. It is just, I don't know what somebody was smoking, but I can't use this. There aren't construction vehicles in this color. Because if there were, you would be blinded and you wouldn't be able to see anything. So we're going to definitely make them yellow. So it's just a matter of priming these things. So the question is I'm just, we're going to pick one of these, put stuff on it, then prime it and repaint it. Okay? I really like this bastard right here, but I feel like it's got the wrong wheels on it. But we need to build this before we do anything else. We need to design it. So one of the problems with having a tracked vehicle is it's going to really slow down. You lose one in the gear. So to give you an example, if you wanted to call something like this a heavy truck, which is probably what it should be called, as soon as you call this a heavy truck, it's going to have a handling of 2 and a max gear of 3. If it's tracked, it gains 1 handling, but it loses 1 max gear. So now it can only get into 2nd gear, which might be realistic for the actual vehicle, okay? But you're not going to be able to use it in Death Race because you're never going to catch up to anybody. So you'd have to have something, you have to have something screwy on it. You'd have to have something like Hell for Leather, where you can always play the fast straight, which is what we're doing with the Butcher. The Butcher is a heavy truck, and it can go up to 3rd gear, and it can always play that long straight. So it could pick up steam, but it's got 4 stacks on it. That's just, I did that to keep it competitive, and so you can have that thing with the big blades chasing your happy ass. Okay. Otherwise, you can have all these blades. Oh, I'm gonna get you. But it's like a murderer with a freaking chainsaw, but they're on a walker, right? They're never gonna catch up to you. It's like whatever. You could have 5,000 machetes on the mount in front of that thing. You're never gonna catch up to me because you're moving at a snail's pace, right? So can't have that. You need to have that thing threatening. But if you do the same thing with this thing, then you start turning into every vehicle has that kind of thing, and it's kind of like, don't really want to get into that. So the only way to avoid that is, and this doesn't look like, you'd be able to pick up speed, because that at least has wheels on it or whatever, right? You can get some momentum or something like that. It starts swinging that blade sideways, and that gives it extra momentum. I don't know. Some kind of make-believe backstory. Who knows? But this guy here, if I wanted to use this dozer, I've got to be able to, and it's going to be tracked because obviously it has tracks on it. Then one of the things that you have to do is you got to categorize it as something that at least can go into 4th gear, so that when you put tracks, it drops it into 3rd, and then it's the same speed as the bus. Okay, this is like the stuff that I want to consider before I go and build something. And great, I built something that's useless. You've been dieting, down about 21 pounds, a bit over a month. My meal yesterday was a type of Vietnamese coconut milk and prawn stew with jalapenos. Oh, man. Well, good for you. I've been eating the extra 21 pounds you haven't been eating. Dieting is hard, man. Especially when you don't have a metabolism anymore. I already gave up drinking. How'd you do that? I never picked it up. I mean, I'm sure I'll drink some over the holidays. I just never drink. You know? I quit smoking, but that was a long time ago. That was in the 90s. Never had a relapse either. Okay, so what could we call this thing that that would work with that? So honestly, I don't care about crew. If it had a crew of one, it would actually be more realistic. But it's not a drag racer. It's not a bike. It's not a buggy. It's not a gyrocopter, obviously, and it's not a performance car. All right, so we have to call it something that's going to have a crew of two. Not a buggy. Not an ice cream truck. Although it could be. Infuriating jingle. Infuriating jingle on a construction piece of equipment would be that beep that constantly goes beep, beep, beep the whole freaking time. Like, okay, you're as big as a fucking house. I get it. You know, you're huge. You don't need to have the beep. People walking around need to have the beep so you can see them. Could call it a truck, but the problem with the truck is it has a crew of three. Like, where are those guys hanging out? You know? Now, the cab only holds one guy. You could probably say, well, you know, there's a second guy, you know, somewhere in the cab with him, whatever that means. And it needs to be something kind of hardy. So I'm pretty much left with, I can't use heavy truck because, you know, you put tracks on it and now you can only go into second gear. I could use it as a monster truck. If I made this a monster truck, that allows it to go into fourth gear, which when I put tracks, it goes to third. Has a crew of two. Handling of 3 goes up to 4. That might not be bad. That might not be bad to make this a monster truck category. Yes, I could make my own categories of vehicles. I could. I don't want to. I don't want to at this point. Just from a standpoint of switching things out for points, I feel a lot more... I feel like somebody's got my back. Not that it really matters. I'm not going to run tournaments or something like that. Oh, that's not an official bit. I don't care about that stuff, right? Conjoined twins. I want to say something with Wrecking Crew in their name. So could it be one of the country themed teams? No, this would be like, when I pick these guys up, I'm like, oh, I can make the Hard Hat Hooligans or something like that. I don't think that I'm worried about their team so much, but I do have the phone here so we can look through some ideas for names. And using ChatGPT, I don't let it make all the decisions. It does give you a lot of repetitive shit, but it does open up the pores in your brain. It's kind of like smoking pot, I guess, for me. You know, I don't do drugs, so I'm like, let me do ChatGPT and unclog the pores in your brain. Give myself a mental enema. Now, it just helps you like, oh, I never thought about using that word. And then that word takes you into other things and things like that. So I think if we call this thing a monster truck, see, here's the other thing. It's got to have a ram, right? So even if it has no weapons, something like this, that constitutes as a ram. It's got to have one. So if I wanted to do something like, let's say I wanted to do one of these and I wanted it really fast. Well, let me make it a performance car base, right? I can't because, you know, by the time you add a ram or something like that, it's got no weapons, you know? So, you know, it's got to have a ram. I mean, I could remove this thing. Like, why would I want to do that? Then it's just, you know, a thing. It's a tank without a freaking gun. Conjoined twins in a cab. Ooh. That's creepy. Poor people that are born that way. Man, that'd make you look forward to being a midget. Midget or conjoined twins? Midget, please. Because conjoined twins, the other guy gets a vote too. Or girl. Can you have that? Can you have a male-female conjoined twins? Fraternally conjoined? That's just weird. That way you can just stay home and go on a date if they're from Kentucky. All right, so monster truck. It has 2 build slots. So if we put a ram, we get one other weapon. Well, the only way to get 3 build slots is to call it an ambulance truck. Nah, I think this is a monster truck. That's the other reason I didn't want the monster trucks to be out of control, size-wise. Okay, if you go to the store, Hot Wheels makes a bunch of monster trucks. I looked at them yesterday. They're huge. They look like they're 1/48 scale. And this is the only one I found at a used place that had a reasonable size monster truck. And look, they're similar-ish in size. Okay? Similar-ish. The other one is like literally like it's twice as long as this. And the tires are every bit of 2 inches tall. It's out of control. You know? So that's why when I saw that one, I'm like, I gotta get that. Because I'm not gonna find one that size. I already saw that was a recurring problem. Okay, so let's take some notes. You're not going to get any viewers this time because you're filming it. Whatever, I don't care. We're here to do stuff, and you guys are just accompanying me. So, we're going to just call this the bulldozer. We're not going to give it a name yet. The bulldozer. I'm going to design a couple of these, and then we'll get to work. Okay. The bulldozer is, man, this thing is. Is this better? I'm real particular about what I write with. Bulldozer is a monster truck. Okay, it's 25 points. It's 25 points, which means this is going to have to be the 37-point category, the 35-point category, or more. It's going to have a ram. It has 2 build slots. It's going to have a ram. That's going to use up 1 build slot, and it's 4 points. So now we're up to 29. And it has to have a weapon. It basically can have 1 weapon. So my thought is it's got to have a minigun or a flamethrower. The problem with having a flamethrower is that it's a range thing. It's a range thing. And I'm going to put on here plus 1 weapon. Okay? We're going to we've got that pretty much set in place. All right? Can't add armor to it because then you have no weapons. So, all right. So this is something, and I'm going to go in the book and see if there's some skills that work with it to make that thing work. This thing is severely under scale. If you've ever seen one of these trucks in real life, a person is excruciatingly small compared to this. And this actually says the scale is 1/140. So this is literally about, if these are all supposedly 1/64th, which they're not, this is almost a third as small as it should be. I mean, this truck would be like this big, the footprint on it. They're massive. And I think they're called earth movers, now that I think about it. Here it's creatively named only dump truck. So, you're not getting much leverage off that. So we're going to kick that one off to the side for the time being. Okay. We have a cement truck. This obviously will drop cement and create the glue thing. Notice it is the same body style as the Butcher. That's an 81 Peterbilt. This one happens to be also say 81 Peterbilt. It just has different stuff on it. As a matter of fact, that might have actually been what was on it. No, because this doesn't have a dip on it. So they use the same cab style for that. Or they use that cab style for this. So we're going to punt on this one as well. Okay? I just built a heavy truck, so, I just built a heavy truck that looks like a heavy truck. This thing's got to be used in a game. So this is sleek as shit, right? So I'm almost thinking this could be a dragster. Now, Just give me a second. Give me a second, because it's shaped like a dragster. A dragster has 2 build slots. And a max gear of 6. If you replace the tires on here, I'm going to have to cut the side of this. Now, I think this is plastic, so it's not the end of the world. Okay? I'd have to cut the sides of this to put bigger tires on it, something like this. And they're going to be too big. They're going to be like touching each other. They're not going to fit in there. But what if I added tank tracks to it? Because it certainly looks like you could use some tank tracks. If I added tank tracks to it, the problem is it uses a build slot. But the handling would go up to 5, and then max gear would drop to... The handling would go up to 5, and the max gear would drop to 5. So it'd be a 5-5. The problem is it has a jet engine, which basically means you have to hit the nitro every turn. It's going to be a problem. And it's only going to leave 1 build slot left. And it has to have a ram. I know the ram's back here instead of up here. Maybe we can put another ram here. But this looks like it needs to have a ram. Big time. Which, there's smaller rams that can go up here. I mean, hell, it can have 2 fucking rams, you know? But then you have no weapons other than, what is it? Just one guy shooting in there? Now, this thing is actually called Street Cleaver. And I don't know what they were thinking about this with, the design. Because like I said, the ram's back here, and it's metal. It's part of the chassis here. All this is metal on the inside. Everything else on it's plastic. It's just very unique looking. It's like, it's asking for, it's honestly asking for to have that big laser gun on the front. You know, the big long thing. Let's see. The railgun. This thing. It actually looks like a shotgun. The supports under the barrel looks like a big shotgun. I mean, it's asking for that in a barrel. But then we can't have tank tracks. Now, I don't have to put tank tracks on it. I just don't like how minimalist these wheels are. But at the end of the day, when I'm done building things, I don't even look at the wheels. Honestly, they don't catch my eye. They're like, yeah, they're wheels. Because first of all, they're not shiny and chrome like this. They're all, covered in mud. And this fucker's going to be really muddied. So if we decide not to make this a dragster, what else could we make it? Well, I'd really like to have one of these. It's really like made for this. So we need to have 2 build slots, or 3 if we do want to put the tank tracks. All right. So if I want to build something with 3 build slots, this is going to go into a truck. A truck would work. Although the truck is basically it's a maximum gear of 4, so it's going to drop to a 3. So it's going to have basically the same speed as this, which is okay. It just looks sleek, Could make it an ambulance, an ambulance class vehicle. Ambulance class vehicle is max gear of 5. It's just stuff to consider. This is the stuff I like to look at before I start putting stuff on it. I'm like, oh, this doesn't really work, or oh, I can make this work, but now it's a 51-point vehicle. Like, okay, that's not really what I want. These are going to be like the core vehicles of the construction crew. Okay, they're not going to be like some special vehicle that everybody has to hunt down like a mastodon, right? Although that would be a good name for a vehicle, the mastodon. I'm gonna go grab a Coke. I'll be right back. mastodon. Mastodon, the mammoth. You can name one after prehistoric big animals. What's that the big gray bastard? Baluchitherium? You have to be really big to be really big creature to create a baluchith. Nobody on a construction crew can pronounce that. Trust me, I know what these construction people are like. I'll only work with these kind of sons of bitches forever. Baluchitherium. You big baluchi. All right. So this is the kind of stuff I like to consider before you go off and build something that looks really cool but isn't really usable. Or you'll have to change the point values. I really don't want to do that. There's a lot of peace of mind of just, building things that look like what it kind of performs like, and that it works within the scope of the game. There's enough, flexibility in the game to be able to do that. Okay, so going back to the bulldozer is going to end up being, oh, I'm fucked. No, I'm not. Sorry. My bad. Monster truck is going to be gear 3, handling 4. Okay. That's important. All right. So this thing, what is this thing called? We'll call it the cleaver. Even that's not going to call that. It won't even have cleaver in the name. The cleaver, if I make it an ambulance, it'll have 3 build slots. That could leave it 1. That could leave 1 for the gun, 1 for the ram, which I can put another ram up here, even though it's small. I probably have some rams that are really small. Like, what am I going to do this with? Well, I can put a ram up here, and that's just a free one. You don't get an extra one. Okay, those 2, and then tank tracks, and that's the 3 build slots for it. And and that would allow it to go up to gear 5, which really would drop it to 4. So it would be 1 gear faster than this. The handling is 2, which would go up to 3. So it'd be reverse of this one. All right, let's go with that for now. Okay, so an ambulance costs 20 points. Okay. It's got an annoying jingle. I don't know. Maybe they're playing redneck music. Maybe they're playing, what's that stuff that's awful? Bluegrass. Some of you might like bluegrass. It's horrible. Fiddle fucking music. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's going to be a gear. It's going to end up being a gear of 4 and a handling of 3. It's going to have tracks. It's going to have a ram. Ram is 4 points. The track is 4 points. And it's going to have some kind of a weapon. This looks like it would go with it. That's going to put us at 28 points, and we need to get to the magic 35. So I could easily do, a heavy machine gun. A chain gun would be good, but it just doesn't look. This thing needs to have that type of weapon. Could it be Christmas themes and be playing those damn Christmas songs? What's your least favorite Christmas song? I should save that for Christmas Eve, though, for the Christmas morning. Your least favorite Christmas song. I have several. And no, it's not the Mariah Carey one. That one's not that bad. I mean, I get it. It's overplayed, but it's not a horrible song. I have 3 or 4. That they play, at least here in the United States, they play a lot. I gotta look that up. Worst Christmas. I mean, we're just hanging out here. Least favorite Christmas songs. I wonder if the ones that I really dislike are on there. Least. I know which ones they are. I just don't know what they're called. Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. I hate that one. It's the meter of the song. The meter of that song is annoying. I don't like that one. That's probably not my least favorite one, but it's up there. I don't like that one. I don't like Santa Baby. I never liked it. I don't care that it's what message. Just it's annoying. I don't like, as traditional songs go, I hate Little Drummer Boy. I hate it. It's repetitive. It's like Chinese pebble torture for the ears. Santa's sleigh and whack a little Santa in there. Not even the hold music at work is themed, so we escape it. There's one customer that I call, I don't know who it is. I love their theme music. It's like smooth jazz and it's awesome. And I think I recognize who it is, but I love their theme music, but yeah, usually theme music. What's worse than theme music is when you call up, thanks for calling XYZ Corporation. We're here to help. Your call will be right with you. We're on another important call taking care of our customers. We've been in business for 31 years, doing what we do best. It's just the whole thing. They're just patting themselves on the back while they're screwing you by making you hold. Just let me listen to freaking the goddamn Bee Gees or something. I don't give a shit what it is. Just something, anything better than that, I hate those back patting type of things, Because if you have that repetitive thing, you can't just be like, all right, I'll put the phone on speaker while I'm waiting for them to take my call. I can, continue doing my business. You can't, because it's like so freaking loud, Yeah, I don't like that Paul McCartney song at all. I also don't like the song that they play all the time. There's 2 other ones. One of them I think is the one by who's the dude with the piano? No, it's not Billy Joel, and no, it's not Elton John. The other guy, the John Legend. There's a John Legend song that they play all the time that just I don't like it. And then there's a couple of other ones, but those happen to me. I need to make a note of that. Because I'm sure they're going to be playing that stuff, and I'm going to be like, make a note of it. Don't like that one. Don't like that one. Don't. But the Mariah Carey one doesn't even register. It's not that bad. I mean, sure, you play it all the time. It doesn't bug me. She doesn't really bug me. I don't listen to her stuff, but she doesn't really bug me. I know one the company has what sounds like a ripoff of Freebird, but I can't stay on long enough to hear it actually is or not. Freebird ripoff. The good part of Freebird, right? Which is the guitar. I'm not a Freebird fan, I don't dislike Skynyrd, but I don't really like them either. The guitar part at the end that's forever long, that part's okay. It's kind of like Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven, I don't think is worth a shit until you get to the jamming part. I don't like songs that are just like, okay, I'm here waiting on my deathbed to die. I want stuff that gives you like energy. I also don't like stuff that's sad. My daughter got that from me. She's like, Daddy, I don't like this song. Why it's sad? I said, I know. Whatever. So we're not listening to that. I don't like sad music. That song sounds sad, and I don't want to listen to it. I don't hear the lyrics because I'm fucking deaf. Plus it's hard to make something out of it. I saw this cartoon recently. I should have saved it. And it was, I forget whose page it was on. But it basically was like this 4-part cartoon. And it was labeled things we thought that were great in the 90s, the 1990s. And it had these 4 different quadrants. And one of them was things that we thought were right in the 90s or something like that. It was like one person complaining about the internet was good. The internet was going to make everybody smarter or something like that. And then one person was, one of them, the grunge music, right? So I had one guy playing grunge, which I was never a grunge fan, okay? And what I thought was funny about it is it had the bubble of what he was saying, and it was just like, it was like Woodstock talking, just gibber jabber, because I never understood anything that anybody said in hardly any grunge song, So I thought that was funny. I should have saved that, because that's what I hear most of the time with lyrics. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Or I hear things like, that's not what they're saying, but like my alternative lyrics are more, they're funnier and more inappropriate. It's the beginning, so I wonder if it's the full thing. Yeah. Yeah, the beginning of Freebird. It's, I don't dislike Freebird, but it's better than Sweet Home Alabama. I mean, how'd that get sneaked into rock music? That's a bit too fiddle faddle for me. That's a good name. That's a good name for that country country jamboree slash whatever I just called it. I called it a little while ago. Whatever it was, that I don't care for the music because it has too much fiddle, too much barnyard. That fiddle faddle. Yeah, it's just not. It's not my people. It's not my responsibility to embrace that. Okay, you bring in some Spanish guitar, we'll talk then. But I'm not taking credit for not wearing shoes and fiddle faddling around. All right, where the hell were we? And then there's one other song also, but it's because the meter is all broken. I don't. It doesn't flow for me. I don't like disjointed music. I've said it before. I am probably I'm the most difficult with music. Oh no, perfumes. I'm probably the most difficult with perfumes of anything else. Like 95% of the scents are I cannot stand them. For men and women, I can't stand them. Maybe not 95, maybe 85%, maybe 80. Okay, there's a lot of stuff out there that is just like, get away from me. But and then occasionally it'll be like, But usually it's perfume. Then music. There's a lot of music types I don't like. Even within music that I like, there's a lot of songs I don't like. Because it doesn't flow. I don't, whatever. Then food. I'm pretty open to food, As long as the person making it can pass my background check. Another company had a bunch of Jack Johnson songs, which make zero sense. Quite entertaining, though. Was he? I mean, I know he was put on the map, at least as far as I'm concerned, with that Curious George song, and we played the hell out of that CD. Remember those? Back when my daughter was little, because she loved the Curious George movie, and all of his music's in that. It seems like he just showed up and he just disappeared. He just came out of nowhere, did that soundtrack. He was popular for a couple of years, disappeared again. But I don't know. I don't really listen to like modern radio or anything. More tolerable Jimmy Buffett. Did Jimmy Buffett make it over to the shores of Old Blighty? I never really cared for it. It's super popular in beach things here. It just sounds a little too country. It sounds like a carnival music, like at a bad carnival. Not my thing. I've actually gotten a little bit more tolerant of it, but it's nothing I would pick to listen to. I prefer reggae. I actually like reggae. Reggae always has good bass lines. You always got some killer bass player in reggae stuff. Again, don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but at least they're speaking a different language. So who's my reggae guys? They make 2 reggae vehicles, and I got one of them, the Rasta van, and they make like a Jeep or whatever, which isn't as cool looking as this thing. This is actually one of my favorite vehicles, and it has a cute little Rastafarian guy as their logo. I gotta show you this. You may have been on when I painted this, but he already had the logo. I'm like, I'm gonna keep the logo because you see that? Almost came off the wall. Like you've been used in one battle and was gonna gloriously win and then didn't, bastards. Must have been high. Guarantee. Let me show you the little Rastafarian dude. See if I can focus on him. Here, we have a phone now. This particular Rastafarian was whitewashed. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, a little clearer on this side. This particular guy, that's the logo. That was already on the vehicle. Super cute little character, right? The face and dreads were in white. They were outlined in black, but they were in white. I'm like, what? What kind of albino white? It was the same white as the background color of the van. I'm like, I had to tint that and paint it. So, we made him look like he's from Jamaica. Cute logo, but why would you not, dude, what's wrong with you? Anyhow. There could be a white dude that looked like that, but they'd be from Colorado. Oh, man. Let's hold this time. Great vehicle. The Rasta Blasta. So it's only been used in one. Some of these vehicles have never even been used in a battle. And I'm not saying because they're new, but, we haven't used any of the Mexican lowriders because we haven't played since I've had them. We never used 350. 350. That's 350 caliber machine guns. Most of these vehicles haven't been used. So, I was telling some people about Mighty Sparrow's Dirty Calypso songs and some other old dirty jazz songs. Completely destroyed the illusion that their grandparents were innocent. Mighty Sparrow. What if I told you I don't know what that is? But I like the new jazz. The one that like flows together. Not like... No, that's not into that. So their grandparents were like nasty. Well, maybe they were innocent. They just didn't know what the hell the songs were. Like, I like music because of what it sounds like, not what the message is. Personally, like, I don't care what the message is. Goddamn Loch Ness Monster. See, I never watched that show, so I actually got the 350 from 350 caliber, and hearing people say 350, I'm like, that's got to be 350 caliber machine guns. So I know it's a South Park thing. I've tried to watch a couple episodes of South Park. Can't really get into it. I think if the graphics would look better, I probably would watch it. But well, it's supposed to look like that way. Okay, Picasso. Animation should look better than what I can do. I can do better than South Park. Okay. Cleaver, ambulance, tracks, ram, some form of gun. Okay, now I'm going to look at the skills. Let's say worst case scenario. Let's say the gun costs 5. Let's say I'm going to trash this and put a minigun on there, right? So it can have some oomph to it, right? That's going to be 13. That's going to be 20. So this is going to leave me 2 or 3 points left over. This is going to be 29 plus some kind of a weapon. We say it's 5 points. Worst case scenario for I can't use a flamethrower. A flamethrower is 2 build slots. Whoever designed that, I think that's a problem with the game. My only problem with the point values is flamethrowers use 2 build slots. So like I have like 2 vehicles that have flamethrowers. Because if you put a flamethrower on a car, that's it. You have no other weapons. Well, a flamethrower only goes this far. So if you never get within 3 inches of somebody, you don't get to shoot at all. That's a problem, you know? Hey, what's up, Hoffman? Mighty Sparrow, very popular West Indian singer. West Indian. Is that like Rajasthan? Or Trinidad? He's West Indian. Oh, so he's from Karachi. No, he's from Barbados. Like, okay, got it. Fucking damn Columbus calling those people Indians. Really confused everything. 9. This is 9. Now we're at 34. And this one is going to have, if I use a minigun or not, this one is going to have 3 to 4 points. Okay, so what perks can we give these 2 vehicles that fall in that range that would work with, construction equipment fuckers? Caribbean. He's West Indian. Oh, from Karachi. Oh, man. See, geography is important, man. I love geography. I love geography more than history. Because I don't like all history, and I like all geography. Except Antarctica. I mean, I don't know. It's all white noise down there. All right, what do we got here? Double barrel. During this vehicle's attack step up to 3. By the way, these guys are probably going to have all rams. I mean, it has to. So we got to get some. This is going to be an unusual looking build. Double barrel. This vehicle's attack step up to 3 weapons with a crew fire special rule may gain a +1 weapon to hit. All right. None of these vehicles have more than 1 weapon, period. So not useful. Boarding party. This isn't bad. It's 2 points. This vehicle ignores the distracted rule, meaning this vehicle may attack during the attack step, even if the vehicle is touching an obstacle. So you could ram somebody, and after you ram them, still be able to shoot at them. That's not bad. Boarding party's not bad. And it only costs 2 cans. Got it. I said cans. 2 points. Battle hammer. When making a smash attack, this vehicle gains +1 attack die for each hazard token it currently has. Okay, that's 4 points. And really, the cleaver is the one that should have that one because it looks like it's sleek enough. But maybe. So I could put that on the dozer. The bulldozer. I do have some bull horns for it. Anyways, details. I want to save that for something real rednecky. Yeah, these guys would run good running with white trash, with the trash truck, industrial waste jokers. So we could do battle hammer with the bulldozer. We just got to make that weapon a heavy machine gun, not a chain gun. Okay. But I've used battle hammer before on one other vehicle. Bully Goat has that. Oh, that's interesting. They both have the Bully Goat. It's literally called the Bully Goat, and this is a bulldozer. So maybe there's some rationale for doing that. Okay. Terrifying Lunatic. Whenever a vehicle controlled by another player ends its movement step within short range of this vehicle, the active vehicle gains a hazard token. So if you tried to ram one of these vehicles, and this guy was a terrifying lunatic, if you come in with another vehicle, yeah, we'll use 007, and he tries to ram this vehicle, as soon as his movement step is over, he's going to gain a hazard token, which basically means you're not going to be able to ram anybody when you have 5 hazard tokens. Because as soon as that happens, you're going to spin and go out of control. Interesting. So that's what Terrifying Lunatic is for. So I'm like, that's not very useful because it's not like when it ends within a short range of somebody. It's when somebody else ends within short range of them. And it's awfully expensive. It's five freaking points. Like, that doesn't seem like a very good doesn't seem like a valuable skill. Grinder Man. Well, let's see what we got up here. Going to start setting up your new PC. I might be on mobile comm at some point if you have you on the background. Okay? Well, I'll try to keep you entertained. Grinder Man. Before this vehicle rolls its attack dice and smash attack, it may choose to add 1 hazard token to the target vehicle for each point of damage it inflicts instead of removing hull points. Well, isn't this some kind of grinding? No, that might be good for... I've got one vehicle, and it's not here. It's one that I actually own. It's all the way in the bottom of the pile. I haven't even taken it out of the packaging. It's basically a steamroller. That might be good for a Grinder Man. Murder Tractor. This vehicle may make pile driver attacks like a war rig. Well, the Butcher has that. The Butcher has Murder Tractor. So we don't want... And it's huge. So we don't want to take that away from him. I figured that would make sense because it's like... Okay, it's not a war rig, but it's pretty big. Like, the cab is actually... it's not like a war rig because it doesn't have a trailer behind it. But the actual vehicle itself is probably bigger than a rig. All right. So of those... I liked Boarding Party and I like Battle Hammer, even though I have used those in other cars. But I'm okay. I just don't want to use them in every other car. Because it just makes them all generic. Oh, this is really cool. Let's put it on every vehicle. Well, then it doesn't make any vehicle special. Powder Keg. May add 1 vehicle to this explosion check. Treat this vehicle as a 1 weight class heavier when it explodes. Okay, well... Crowd Pleaser, Road Warrior, vehicle ends successfully cause 1 or more hits on another vehicle to point during activation. Vehicle may remove a single hazard token at the end of its attack step. Yeah. Cover Me. Once during its activation, this vehicle may remove a hazard token and place it on another friendly vehicle within double range. Well, double range is really far away. That's not that's not bad. That's not bad for this crew. I can see that. Madman. At the end of this vehicle's movement step, if it has 4 or more hazard tokens, it may remove a hazard token and place it on another vehicle within medium range. Okay, that's not bad. That's 3 points. I feel like that would be good for this guy. And it's 3, so I could do it as long as I put a heavy machine gun, not a chain gun, which I kind of wanted to do anyways. So that's looking pretty good. Bullet time, that's the one where you get a slide result and you can use it as a turreted weapon. Built, dead weight, vehicle may gain 2 hazard tokens to count as 1 weight class heavier, unless already heavyweight, until the start of its next activation. Barrel roll, when it suffers a flip, it can do some funky stuff and like be somewhere in different places. Bruiser, in a collision involving this vehicle, the vehicle declares a reaction other than evade against this enemy vehicle. The enemy vehicle engages a hazard token. Again, it's not a good value for 4 points, I don't think. Splashback, that's the one where you shoot at it and you could take damage yourself of parts coming off of it and coming back onto you. I don't think it's appropriate for either one of these two. Crusher, this vehicle gains the up and over special rule. So basically, it's treated like it has a tank track. Well, this one already has it, and this one's going to have it, so that doesn't really mean anything. I don't have the points for Feel No Pain. Daring, Chrome Whisperer, Slippery, Evasive, Handbrake Artist, Power Slide, Stunt Driver doesn't apply to these vehicles. They just don't look like that. Horror, I've read the horror things. They're weird. They're weird and they just don't go with anything. Military, these aren't shooters, so I'm not doing military. They're not precision vehicles, not even going to look at precision. Not doing taunt, not doing a pursuit. Not going to do speed, not going to do technology, not doing tuning. So what's left? Reckless. Drive angry. At the start of this vehicle's activation, this vehicle gains a hazard token. I don't understand why you'd want to pay a point to get that. I just don't know what scenario that would be good with. Maybe if you've got some kind of a vehicle that is so slow that it can't generate enough hazards and you have some kind of skill where you can pass them on to the enemy. But if you don't generate any, you don't have any to pass on, you'd want Drive Angry. Like you'd want Drive Angry with... Madman. Madman is if you have 4 or more hazard tokens, it may remove a hazard token and place it on another vehicle within medium range. If you don't have any, you can't do that skill. But then you have to have some, because if you don't have at least 4, adding this one, you're not going to be able to do it either. It just seems like it's just a weird... It seems like a Drive Angry should be like a -1. Like you should get like extra points just by getting the Drive Angry thing. It just seems just kind of a weird type of thing to have on there. We're working on. So I bought that bus, that Asian bus, that I wasn't necessarily going to work on, and then my buddy Joe says, "Hey, Killdozer," and I'm like, "That's not a Killdozer," and I'm like, "Shit, let's build a Killdozer." Or not going to call it Killdozer, but something like that. Because I've had these from Marty, and I'm like, do something a little bit different. So we're going to work on a couple of them at once. These 2 at once. Anyhow. Hogwild, during a collision resolved during a wipeout step, vehicle gets 2 at smash dice. Yeah, the problem is it has to wipe out. And then it gets the +2 attack dice. So, not that useful all the time. In for a penny, as vehicles gain 6 or more hazard tokens during activation, may double the attack of dice and any smash attack it makes for the remainder of this activation. So that would be handy with Roll Cage. Because Roll Cage, if it causes you to flip, you don't take 2 points of damage from it. And also be handy to drive angry and gain one every time to make sure you're up there. The vehicle involved includes doubling smash dice penalties or penalties resulting from weight differences. Is any of these heavy? What is a monster truck? Heavyweight. And what is the ambulance? Middleweight. Bigger than you. This vehicle is involved in a collision. Double any smash attack bonuses or penalties resulting from weight differences. So bigger than you might actually work with this guy because he's a heavyweight. So if he hits a middleweight vehicle, which almost everything is, the middleweight, the difference is 1, so it would double it to 2. Berserker. All right, so now we got bigger than you, which is 4 cans. Points. 4 points, damn it. And boarding party. And battle hammer. Or madman. I think we give this guy madman. That's 3 points. And we give the other one bigger than you. So bigger and you. That's just weird to type that. It's almost like I'm typing something else I shouldn't be writing. Okay. Bigger than. There we go. We'll get around that. Bigger than you. And then the other one is madman. 3. Madman is 3. Madman. Okay, so 20 and 8, 28 plus 3, 21. We need to have a 4 weapon. So this is a heavy machine gun 4. It's 3. Damn it, man. What the hell is a chain gun? A minigun. 5. What the hell is 4? Mortar. All right. Then we're going to do, then this is heavy, MG, and grenades. And now this is 35 points. And then this one is bigger than you is 4 points. So this is 25 plus 4 is 29, plus 3 is 33. This only leaves me 4 points again. So again, this is a heavy MG plus grenades. The heavy MG is 4, grenades is 1. And this is 35 points. All right, so you need to put 2 heavy machine guns on here. We've already picked this one out, and we have a small ram and tank tracks for this guy. And then we can start carving these up. Well, we don't have to carve anything on this guy, but we're going to plan on gluing all the stuff on him. Then we'll worry about priming them and painting them. Killdozer, a good idea. I also like that tomato color Lotus car you bought. Yeah, I got it. It's yeah, I got that thing. Lotus Cortina. Never heard of it before. They didn't do a good job of selling that. Okay, so this is the heavy. We need a small ram for this and the tank track, and a heavy machine gun, obviously front mounted. That's kind of the standard. Geez, that fits like perfect in between the stuff here. Doesn't look like a heavy machine gun, but size matters not. What about something like this? I could probably cut it. It's like that. Ain't no one side. Hold on, let me scoot the thing over. This would work like this, but you get some kind of a droopy barrel that's unsupported. I kind of like this little thing. It doesn't look like a heavy machine gun, but who fucking cares? It's only 3 dice. It's not like it's, you know, some massive thing. I like the way that looks. I like the way that looks. Let's leave that at that. Another alternative is this big thing. Because it's not like it's going to be a 120 something millimeter cannon. Let's, and it's at an angle. I wonder if it would fit. It's worth a try. I've had a hard time trying to find a purpose for this thing. So let's go ahead and let's get something to cut on. Yeah, I like the Killdozer thing too. I'm just not going to call it Killdozer. That's a little too elementary. We can do better than that. And we got Chat GPT for us. That's why we're filming with this thing. It was really the whole purpose is so I could use Chat GPT. And because the next thing I'm going to do after I build this stuff, and we'd have to grind this down. So we're definitely going to use. Well, I don't know. Let's see what this one looks like. Shit, this one looks good too. Let's use this long ass thing. It looks like a shotgun. The support underneath it looks like a shotgun barrel. The back of this is angled. Let's see if we can. Let's be careful with that. It's actually a nice looking piece of. It's starting to get a little bit closer. Resin from some of these pieces are just so different depending on who the manufacturer is. Okay, can't really. Let's get some stickum. You know, the one guy that I said, man, I wonder when Justin's going to show up. I found out, I saw, I'm subscribed to his channel, and he made a post that I commented on, and he replied back to me, says, hey man, you blocked me on your channel. I'm like, I did? And I guess his comment must have been right next to somebody that was causing trouble one day, and I fat-fingered him. So now we can say he's been fat-fingered by me. I hope it was satisfying. No, it's pointing up at the sky. What if we, oh, here. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. That's not that bad either, even though that's just not going to work. We got to use this thing on something cool. What broke off? One of these rusty wheels? Yeah, this thing's been through hell. I think we're going to go with this. Unless there's new things in the new weapons, which is the same set as that one. Or maybe there's some AKs or something like that might work okay. All right, let's go ahead and I'll move this. I'll leave this one out because that's all this thing needs is just basically a machine gun on it. And we're going to look for a small ram for this guy. And the process of and the tank tracks. And the process of looking for that, maybe I can. I'll come across the other MGs. Okay, this is like a 50 cal, but these are really for like turreted, so no. Take a swing here. Okay, that's a possibility. Those are a no. No. Ah, crap, this was open. Son of a dick. Oh, we got loose weapons everywhere. Okay, well. Okay, that's a flamethrower. No on that as well, I think. Okay, here's some MGs. Okay, here's a small ram. That's a possibility. Here's other rams. I kind of want the ram to be really aggressive looking. Not those. Maybe I'm going about this wrongly. I can't see where the shit right now. I got my contacts out, so I'm like, I'm in mole man mode. Right, let's take all this crap at the bottom. And we'll use this to put the nose in. So like this, no. This, no. This, no. What else we got here? Like literally like one thing. No turreted mounts, no. Rams for rigs. Not a rig, no. Rockets and fins and such, no. Those Jersey barrier things, nope. Here's the tank. Here's where the tank tracks are going to be. Whoa, 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 whoa. I picked up this area so there wouldn't be much chaos. Chaos likes to follow you around. All right, this is a turret mount. All right, it's this son of a bitch that was open. All right. This might actually get used on the dozer, the little flag. So I'm going to keep that out. Put a wang on the dozer so it can go faster. All right, maybe. Hey, this is make-believe bullshit, you know? Want to go fast? Put a wang on it. Okay, these are dropped weapons. Nope. I don't know what this is supposed to be for. This looks like the top of those. Remember that? What are those creatures you fight in freaking all over the place in World of Warcraft? They're like these fish. They're like fish people. You know what I'm talking about? You have that one on the top of them. Yeah, I probably need to organize this in a better way. I haven't had that's a good one. I haven't had the desire to do that yet. I haven't had the need to do that. Okay. These are the drop weapons. We don't care about those right now. These are the clown weapons. Not building a clown car. These are ones we already said no to. Correct. These are the super cool high-tech weapons. No, this is a construction site. Get out of the way for that. Turreted weapons that are cool. Okay, what do we got here? These are flamethrowers. We're not putting a flamethrower on any of these, so nope. These are machine guns that just don't go with the feel of this. They look very cool. We don't want to waste them on that. Okay, now we're down to this stuff. Okay, here's where the MGs are. I'm probably going to lump all these together. And we have some RAM options here. And the tank tracks as well. What's this? Armor plates. You could see some of that. Here's another wing. Great. More clown weapons. What do you mean clown weapons? You'll see. It's some crazy cartoony shit. Alright. Tank tracks. And this may not work. I may not be able to put tank tracks on here. Luckily, the body is plastic. All this is plastic. So if I have to carve this off, it's not a terrible amount of work. Now, I don't want to use these big ass tracks. They're wasted, and with this device on here, I would have to push this farther back than I would want, which exposes the rear and it just doesn't look how I want it to. So that's a no, and its partner is also a no. All right. This guy, it's almost like a half track, looks pretty damn good. I could probably mount it here and maybe even fit it underneath here. This looks like it's going to be the winner. But before I discount anything else, let's see how this would look. This is also a possibility. However, this is useful on a shorter vehicle. And also, you're going to have holes here where the wheels are that are going to show that I have to fill in somehow. So I think for that reason, I'm not going to pick that one. These covers go with this, don't they? Or maybe they don't. I thought they did. I think they're meant to supposed to go with those. These are the only one of the tracks these that look like they would go with this. Probably could clean them up and they would fit underneath there. So that's a possibility. Okay, so this looks like that's the tracks that we're going to go with or without that. Now I kind of like the idea of them not having the covers, so we can put just Not, I was going to say blood. Mud and shit just splatter all over it. Well, not shit, but... Now here's another RAM. Yeah, this is just a smorgasbord of stuff that's in here. Here's those little speakers I was talking about to use for this tow truck here. Yeah, there's a bunch of little... So this is going to be tow jam. We're going to have speakers and stuff in there. So I think that that's what we'll do with those pieces. Now, we need to finalize which RAM we're going to use and see if we want to stay with that gun or use a different one for it. You bought the Osprey rule set Poseidon's Warriors. I'm hoping it's fun. Is that for like doing the Odyssey and stuff like that? I saw a promo, of course they didn't show anything, it was just a picture of the back of a helmet of a movie about the Odyssey. I'm sure they'll fuck that up. I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan of Greek mythology stuff. If they cast the wrong fucking people in it, that'll ruin the damn movie, as far as I'm concerned. They cast the wrong Odysseus, game over. Odysseus featuring The Rock. Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, I like The Rock and everything, but you know, he's The Rock. He's not made for every role. The Rock is basically the modern Schwarzenegger. They used to put Schwarzenegger in all kinds of shit. Like, he's a big guy, put him in there. Now I do the same thing with The Rock. Alright. MGs. We got some cocaine this came with. Man, I get this thing done. Peruvian marching powder. I heard somebody say that one time. Laughed my ass off. Okay. I don't want to do the old double AK thing. Okay? I'm actually okay with this weapon. I just wish it was a little larger. Got these 30 cal type things. That'd be alright. That'd be alright. The question is, do I like that better than this? These AK looking things with the side magazine. No, those are actually pretty useful. Let me glue this down. Got to put it in a way that the bolts can spit out. I don't know that I like that any better. I don't know that I like that any better. This looks like a pulse rifle. Is this the same weapon as the one I had picked? The same manufacturer, he just used different resin. I think I'm going to go with this one that I had. I'm fine with it. You know, this process takes a little while. So I figured, let's film it, because that'll force me to stay on track and not get sidetracked by playing something, you know, doing something else. Going and doing my daily video game things that I gotta do every year so I can get a something. These have some extra flash on them that the first set didn't have. Don't send me junk, because then, you know, even without me wanting to make you look bad, you'll make yourself look bad. None of these people send me stuff for free. I'm not asking for it either. Let's look at these. This pipe thing is way too cool. This is way too cool of a ram. It's got like these pipes. All right, too big and wasted. Too big. Too big. Is there clearance? Is there clearance on the ground? I think so. Barely enough. That could work. Shit, so could this one. The bolts. No. Nope. Nope. Well, it protects the frickin' wheels. Put it on there before you decide you don't want to do it. Nah, this needs more of a grill to protect. There's no grill here. Nope. 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 Nah, that's just too cool for this. Okay. And then what about these? No, because of the mounting way. And then this one also no, because of the mounting way. This is going to have the same mounting issue. So no on those. That guy that did the Poseidon's Warriors. Poseidon's Warriors. That should be a game about like mermen. Come here, you bastard! You know, trident people. This would be alright. I just don't know how the hell I would mount it. No, I think we got our winners in one of these. And none of the stuff that I have is anything I dislike. It's just not the best choice, I think, for some of these things. So we're going to have this mounted somewhere up here. And we may have to build like a false bottom to this so it sits on there smooth. Because there's some wiring and shit on there that this isn't going to work really well by sticking it on there. It's kind of like haphazard looking. And I'm actually okay that it's tilted down. Like, look, it's just firing in this area. That's where somebody's going to show up. They're going to shoot at them just before they ram them. Okay, this looks the part. However, mounting this will be, let's just say, a bit of a challenge. So I'm not completely discounting it. Mounting this, a piece of cake. Like, bam, done. However, it's just bolts. I feel like it could be better used for something else. Man, I like this. but there's hardly any clearance. It's like, well, that's not a very big ram. Well, we got a second one to scoop up the pieces. These wheels are all like, they've been abused by a child. You know, we can take this apart and replace these front wheels and put them with something a little bit more aggressive that maybe matches the tank tracks a little bit more. And it is a plastic thing. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take these three, set them over here, set this over here. Let's put these away. And then drill this thing out. And I'm going to attempt to drill it out here, because it's plastic. It shouldn't be too much effort. If it ends up being too much effort, we'll take the Dremel to it. And I can't see shit. I can't see shit 2 feet away. This is all good. I'll keep that out there just for yucks. I don't know what I'm going to do with these plastic bags. We'll store them in a garbage can for now. I have so many. Oh, this is an extra little like bit or something. It may not look bad on the back. Some of these vehicles are a little basic looking. All right, let's see if we can get away with this. Let's put the rest of these vehicles away. And use something that I bought for the bottom of the palm trees. And I think it's got the right size bit in it already. And I'm going to do this to protect the surface. Hello. Oh yeah, piece of cake. Man, I wish they all had plastic this. Look at that. Man, that bastard's strong. No, this one was just, might have been some dry rot in it too. I don't know how old this thing is. 1996, but. Okay, so this is all cattywampus broken. The simple thing is, if I want to keep the wheel on the back are actually larger. So we know we're not going to use the wheels on the back. So I could use one of them and just move them up front. And now we have a larger... Let's see how this thing goes together here, first of all. Oh, okay. We got to pry in first. It goes in like that. Okay. So we can upscale from this size wheel to this one that comes off the base vehicle. And now we have a larger wheel up front. And now when we use something like this, we have more clearance underneath it. Okay, cool. Also, as you go up in size for this wheel, it's going to push this thing out more, which means you're going to it's going to be farther away from these wheels because none of them have a shape where they cantilever out. Like they go out straight and then come out, which is what you need to do the bigger these wheels go. So it's probably going to be a little easier to match up stuff with this wheel other than others. Now the problem with that is that I'm giving up two wheels that are of equal size by doing that. So I might actually be better off using the wheels from, say, the Land Rover. Because the Land Rover wheels are also aggressive looking. Not aggressive looking, but they're chunky. They're chunkier. So let's see what they look like, and I definitely don't need them because one of the Land Rovers is a bloody wreck. What are they? I guess it's not. Why wouldn't it be there? It's definitely something that I have two wheels. Oh, you know what? We used them on the Rabbit. Okay, well, we have this. I don't know what the hell these go to, but I only have one set of them. That's weird. What could those have been to? It's definitely a cheap vehicle. Yeah, that looks a little... even more aggressive. I gotta use the little boy's room. I'll be right back. The Poseidon Wars ancient ship combat game. The new Odyssey movie is made by Christopher Nolan. Yeah, that's the one I saw. They'll probably cast the wrong person as Odysseus and it'll suck for me. Ancient ship combat. Check out those miniatures made by Hots. Actually, they may not be in business anymore. That might be one of those places where the guy passed away. It's the Hots battle map people. I think you've seen it. Hots battle. I think it might have been that the guy passed away. Here's one of the miniatures page from 2021. One more Husker's Hots mats. If you search the boards here, you see Hots has terrible customer service rep. Most people get their stuff, but it takes months with no communication. As of January, shut business down due to pandemic-related issues. 2021. Yeah, I think that's the same guy that made those triremes. Trireme. models. They look really good. And were relatively inexpensive. As opposed to, getting the ones from Zyston. The Zyston ones are beautiful. I have one. I never built it because it was for my Athenian camp. Well, that didn't go anywhere. And I don't feel guilty about it either. Okay, so if I want to use these tracks on here, I can probably use them as is. Shit, I don't even think I need to cut this fender down any. It'll cover all these holes. And it'll size with these front wheels just fine. I'll probably cut this fender off a little bit so it's not awkward. I don't think I'm going to use these things because I got it cut out. I like the fact that it just looks more industrial like this without the fender. Plus I can slosh, like a bunch of mud and shit back here too. Okay. So these two are not needed. All right. I like this wing thing. I don't know if it's supposed to be a wing or a... Honestly, it looks like a wing. Thing to hold it down while it but it doesn't. It doesn't need to hold it down. I'm probably going to glue it in place straight up. Got a little ladder there. This is going to go like this. Which way are the chevrons on the tank track supposed to go? I think it's supposed to be V forward. See, if it went... It looks wrong. It looks correct V forward like this. Yeah. All right. This thing worked like a beaut. Sharp ass one too. Okay. I like it when things work well. They don't always work well, or they work easy. I like when things work easy. All right. So first thing I'm going to need is I'm going to take this little guy here, and I'm going to take a scrap piece. Yeah, sure, this will work. A scrap piece of this. I'm going to put it over here, as I'm going to drop some of this super glue down. And we'll apply it with the toothpick. Doesn't help that it's cold in here, so the super glue is not going to float. Dude, I stored you upside down. And I hear it. Got the sniffles. I don't understand why this is happening. I doubt it would be clogged. Yeah, it's not. I can hear the air going. I hate using super glue. It's a fucking pain. Some of you guys like swear by it. I don't get it. There we go. There we go. It's been upside down for a fucking week. Minnesota. Yeah, we're not going to get a lot of followers this way, but I need to have the. Man, oh my goodness, this fell out, and I'm glad it did because otherwise I would have run over this and crushed it. This is the bull head, like the bull skull head. Yeah, we gotta save that for some redneck vehicle. A lot of this klutziness I attribute it to basically having to work on this being nearsighted. Like, I've always been nearsighted, but I just put my contacts in, I would just be in 20/20. But once you start not being able to see things that are close to you with your corrective lenses, it's like a problem. So then I either have to put readers on or take my contacts out, which is where I'm at right now. And you just go into what I call mole man mode. Where you're almost 50% bumbling fool. Okay. Now this thing's going to look pretty cool. This is going to be a pretty cool looking vehicle. This one in particular. There's not much to that. We're going to put some armor plates and shit on it just to give it some pizzazz. But, yeah, other than that. Alright, so, on this bastard right here, is there any reason I shouldn't glue this together? Well, for starters, I probably need to trim this. Ooh, that's supposed to be on there? I actually like it being on there. That little raised part. I don't know if that's supposed to be flash or not, but we'll leave that on there. The flash here, though, needs to go. Now, I'm actually going to glue this in place so that it's up like that. I like that angle. Like it's got some streamlining going on. You know, part of me says, well, they're construction vehicles. Why the hell I got to paint them yellow? That's true. They could be black. However, the yellow works great for rusting and stuff and dirt. Black, not so good. It looks vacuous. Looks like it's missing something. Wrong one. This one goes over here. Nope, like this. Okay, so I really want to keep this not all the way up against the top. I want to give it some room. And I think that if we take this thing off half the distance between that corner, I think we'll be good. Let's just take the whole thing off so it doesn't has no bend down. Okay. And then the same thing over here, right at that corner. glue this so there's a little bit of a gap there. I'm fine with his wheels being on the front. Does that improve my ability to use this guy at all? Not really. We'll use that guy on a different vehicle. What about these bolts? Do you like that better or worse? I don't like it better. We're going to go with this. Now, these wheels are a little wider than I would like. Oh shit. These aren't the wheels that go on the little blue vehicle, are they? Because I'm flexible with what wheels I want to use on this thing. It's not like I got to use these wheels and this is going to make it or break it. Over here by the lonesome. That's what we're going to use. I don't know what the hell they go to. We'll figure it out. I don't know any of these vehicles that they go with, so. They might be the back wheels to that little car that's like a make-believe Camaro. I don't know if they are. It doesn't matter. That one could look better with these wheels anyways. You know, it's like you're getting a better set of wheels. These are those Walmart brand. They're either Mastos or the Walmart brand vehicle. All right. So tank tracks can be glued. I wish I could reduce the size of this pin. I just don't have any experience with that. So we don't have this slop. There's a fair amount of slop in here. If I glue them all, if I pull them all the way out and then glue them there, that would be just fine. Maybe that's what I need to do. Instead of pushing them in, pull them all the way out. All right, and this attached. Now, there are some openings up here. I don't know why they would be there. Like some gaps. I don't know why there would be a gap there and a gap here. Like almost like something went back here. It doesn't need anything. There is a little bit of a hole there, which we could certainly put a stack in there. No, I really don't want to empty this again. It's for a good cause. Let's see if I've got one that's kind of short. Well, this one's already crimped. Something like that. All I gotta do is expand that hole a little bit bigger, and that'll fit right in there. I think that should work just fine. All right, let me get one of the fabulous drill bits. These should do fine. This mandrel should do fine as well. Langton Miniatures closed down. Can I send that to you? I'm sorry, I missed it. What am I sending that to you? Langton Miniatures closed down. Another ship caster closed in October this year. A lot of these sites haven't changed since I was a young adult. Yeah, Langton's always had like old stuff. I remember going to a hobby store a long time ago. Langton Miniatures packagings were like from like the early 70s or something like that. Let me know what it is you want me to send you. I'll be happy to. The Hot Sky is apparently closed down, so whoops. Whoops. Way too large. Maybe something like this. It's close. It's really not going to make much of a dent on it. Is this one a little bit bigger? Yes. Okay, we'll use this one and we'll wobble it out. Don't have to do much. Just another wee bit. No, not that. Let's not do that. You wear like a fucking apron. Everything falls in between my legs. And then we'll dribble the thin super glue in there. That gets rid of one of the holes. I don't know why it's got these holes back here. Street cleaver. All right, let's see what I didn't get with this. I may be like, man, that's great. I didn't want that thing anyways. I may be like, oh man, that sucks. It's hard to find these construction vehicles, by the way. You would think that they were like really popular. Hot Wheels Street Cleaver. Hot Wheels Street Cleaver. Okay, I'm missing a lot of stuff on it. Like this huge fucking engine back here. Huge fucking engine. And it's got different wheels, and they look better. No, they might be the same ones. Oh, it comes in a couple different variations. You've got one that has the two wheels in the back, got one that has a one wheel in the front. One wheel in the back. Okay, you know, the engine on the back would be cool. I don't think it's really needed. I don't think it's really needed. I'm okay with that. All right, it was just kind of cool to find out what exactly am I missing at. I wasn't playing with a full set. Okay, let's put this thing back. Let's go ahead and put this same drill bit back on. I believe it was this one. Should have yellow on it. I think it was this one. I specifically got this for the palm trees. Because I needed to put those magnets in there, and I didn't want to go at some ridiculous speed. because you know you're just trying to gnaw into soft plastic, almost rubbery plastic to some degree. So what we'll do is, we got this one super glue over here. Let's put this super glue over here. All right, that's not working worth a damn. If I ever become a master of using that really thin stuff, I'm gonna be really happy because it's difficult to work with. It's difficult to work with. All right, I think. Do I want to use hot glue gun for this? I don't know that I do. I don't know that I do, but it's the thick super glue. We're going to put it in there because this is going to be like so. Okay. Now we'll glue this from the outside. This goes in here like this. Where is the glue point here other than in the cylinder? That may be the only spot. So let's open this up. Put that around there. Okay. And then this, let's glue the front wheels on. We're going to extend them. This stuff smells strong. But I bet there's somebody out there who likes the smell of super glue. I don't like the smell of anything. I mean, sometimes the Games Workshop paints smell nice. Oh, the Coat the Arms paint smell. I mean, they smell pastel-ish. I mean, they smell pleasant. You know. And now we can decide when we put this, what height to put this at. So we don't want, although it's not terrible, but I think if we lift this up a little bit, it's going to ride a lot better. So we're going to put some here, I'm going to put some here, I'm going to put some here. about that much of a gap. We just got to do the same thing on the other side. I feel like this stuff is stronger than the stuff that squeezes out of it, even though it's the same Loctite brand. Actually, the edge on that cutting mat's handy. It keeps it from kicking out. And then we'll do the same thing here, right? It sits on here pretty level, doesn't it? Sure does. This is a cool vehicle. Had I ever seen one of these in the store, I probably would have picked it up because it definitely looks aggressive, especially with that engine. But you know, it doesn't need the engine. It's got a badass engine inside. You know, it's not like the inside's like a ballroom or something like that. Though we need a space there for having parties or some shit. Just like so. And hopefully it sits relatively level. Oop. It'll sit level enough. Okay, that's good. Let's not put any undue pressure on it. And then we don't have to worry about filling in the holes and all that kind of stuff. But that's why I wanted to design this thing, so I don't go and build something that's just not... I either have to bend the rules of the game or something like that. I'd rather not have to do that. I'd rather work with what's already there. The funny thing is it doesn't look out of place. The tracks don't look like it's out of place. Like it's like, oh, what are tracks doing on that Lotus? You know, it's not like that. You know, it's like it looks in place. And this, I'm just going to glue this on the bottom here. Give it a little bit of clearance. Ah, shit. God bless it. Damn nearsightedness. Yeah, we caught it in time. Works better when you put glue on it. Yeah, I can't pull it back in anymore as much as I'd like to because the wheels are too big. But if using wheels that are smaller, it just doesn't look as like it should. Matt Damon's Castle Odysseus. I'm not gonna watch it. Fucker. He's just like, he was actually okay. What was the movie that he was in? It was okay. Was it Ford versus Ferrari? Was that the movie he was in? He was okay in that. I think he was in that. He's just bland. I don't dislike the guy. He's just like... You know, there's some people that are just... I've seen enough of them. I don't need to see them anymore. He was fine in Saving Private Ryan. He wasn't that well known. Okay. So this is most of the look of these. Now, we're still going to add shit to them, but it won't be anything out of here. We can put this stuff away. Oh, we got to put this machine gun here. That's a heavy machine gun, so is that one. Well, that one just fires a lot faster. I don't know. I specifically want that one because it looks long. It's on a long thing. It's very star-studded. It's going to suck. It's going to suck. Gotta stop star-studying things. You waste a shitload of money on paying those people. Never saw Oppenheimer. Seemed really boring. I just don't care. I just don't care to watch movies again. I started trying to pick up The Boys where I left off, but season 3. Kind of boring, honestly. Season 1 and 2 are great. Season 3's having a hard time getting through it. We can go back. The daughter gets back in a couple days. We can go back to watching. I haven't watched it without her on purpose. Since we started watching it. Obviously not The Boys. I don't want to see The Boys with the daughter. What's it called? Twisted Metal. The first episode of Twisted Metal was strong, and then it just, every episode's like, it's got a WRX in it. What's not to like? I was gonna build one just like it this last weekend. Last weekend I was gonna go and I was gonna find a bug-eyed WRX to build like it. I wouldn't call it the same thing, but I'd call it a similar name, so you knew where the inspiration was from. But then I found out that Green Light or Johnny Rock, it's not Johnny Rock, Johnny Lightning. Johnny Lightning was going to make a model of one. All right, well, we'll convert that one. Bug-eye WRXs are very hard to find. Die-cast. They're hard to find one at a reasonable price. They're always expensive. Very star-studded, yeah. Watch something like George Clooney be in it or some stupid shit like that. Okay. This could stand. Man, my grinding skills just aren't great. almost taking my little grinder and grinding this down. And then it could, because it sits in here just fine. It's just has too many tall things in it. Why don't we do that? Why don't we go and we'll bring my no, it's already set up out there for it. Let me go ahead and grind this out with the Dremel foot thing. I can get really slow. See if I can take these things out at a really low speed, and I'll be right back in a few minutes. Well, that took a lot longer than I thought it should have, but that's typical. But yeah, the worst thing about that Dremel thing is that you got to use one of those keys to unlock all the bits on it, right? I'm talking about, the one that's like a pen, like the pen Dremel. It's freaking awesome. It's an awesome weapon. I guess it could be. It'd be an awesome weapon in the wrong hands. But you have to use this key to unscrew it. And you can't even turn it. You have to use the key to unscrew any of it. It's not like, okay, untighten it and then you can do it by hand to put the bits in and out. So if you end up like having to switch bits, it's a pain in the ass. It's more difficult than it should be. Let's clean some of this up right here, this little flash. But this fits in here just fine now. I had to find a drill bit. I had to try to find a bit that was small enough that I could come in and clean this up without destroying the edges. Which I got pretty close a couple times, but well, that's just with this hobby, man. You just don't make any fucking plans. How long are you going to take? I don't know. You'll know when it's over. You'll know when it's over. It's almost like I need to. This fucker's so dull. I don't even know where I got this blade from, but this thing is fused in here. Like I can't I can replace this. I can't budge this at all. It's the weirdest thing. Of course, I don't know that I've really tried to budget. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get like 2 clamps and try to, or if not, just like fuck it, just buy another one. But I don't understand why they make movies so damn star-studded. You waste a lot of your budget on paying these prima donnas that don't really fit the role. But, some people might actually want to watch the movie because those people are in it. Especially in a historical movie. Okay, I'm gonna cut down about here. Cut this down by hand. It's actually working okay to cut it down by hand. I just didn't want to get too close with this thing. It was pretty low speed. And I also had to be careful because I know it is my day to supervise y'all, so to chaperone y'all. Oh, just a wee bit more. I really should buy one of these. It's kind of handy to use this size. You can't do this with the thin blade of the regular number 11. I think this is a number 1. I think it's what it's called. I could be wrong on that. In this case, this doesn't need to be very sharp at all. Good thing, because this is like a blunt instrument almost at this point. The only thing I'd like to remove is this middle one right here. There we go. This seems like it's like soft plastic, like the ones that the plastic figures are made out of, but it's not. It's a little harder, which basically means you could scrape it to some degree to not get all furry. Yeah, there we go. I mean, it really reminds me of a railgun. I mean, a shotgun. The brackets that are underneath the barrel. I don't know if that's in focus because I can't freaking see. Let's see here. Boom! Out of my way! I'm on my way to get some pork rinds. Out of my way. Okay, so let's move this off to the side. We have the dozer. And we have the plow here. Yeah, it certainly doesn't need that big ass engine back there. It's just fine, you know. It's just fine. Fine without it. And this is going to be able to, it has a handling of 3. I can go up to gear 4. And this has a gear of 3 and a handling 4. Yep. And it's a monster truck, which basically gives you the ability to go up and over, but the tracks also do that as well. But heck, this is just looks, so both of these can go up and over people. I have no idea what that's going to do. other than create, some insanity. This thing is long as hell, so that's kind of that can be an advantage. You get to move farther. I'm not gonna pull out which is the one that's really long. Bully goat. The bully goat is really long. It's got the really long ram on it. So, yeah. Pretty cool vehicles. I don't know that. It's funny. This has almost like the paint is falling off of it. Which makes me think this was out in the elements somewhere. Some kid left this outside and But we're going to go ahead and we're going to spray these black, both of them, completely. We'll paint them yellow, but then we'll come in with like a dry brush or something like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'll leave them. These definitely can't be orange. This color just makes me want to just punch somebody. So makes you want to hit one of those cones, those safety cones, and hit every damn one of them on the road. The construction zone. Maybe I will leave them in this color because the color's just fine. I mean, almost everything is yellow that needs to be yellow. I'm gonna make them yellow. Now, where did my phone go? Names. Okay, it's charged all the way up. That's not ChatGPT. This one is. Okay, so I already have Gasland bulldozer names. Iron Gospel. I don't know why. I mean, are we going to be preaching from this thing? Grave Grader. Well, that's probably better for this one. Why did this thing get sticky? What's sticky on it? It's relatively heavy. They both are. Bone Breaker, Earth Splitter, Widowmaker Blade, and a Red Line, Law of Judgment, the Leveler, Rust Prophet. Rust Prophet is a great name, but needs to be some Preachmobile. Slag Hammer, the Compactor, Pit Boss, Scrap Servant. I don't know why it's got so much biblical shit on here. The Push. The Push is a good name, but I don't know for all this. Mud Baptism. Mud Baptism is a great name for a monster truck. Back 40 Butcher. I didn't know what the hell the Back 40 was until I started working at this place. Never heard of that before. Of course, that was 30 fucking years ago. Cornfield Carnage. Doze and Confused. That's kind of cool. I like Doze and Confused. Plow and Order. Sounds a little bit too much like a cop, thing. So maybe if I have a cop bulldozer, that would be a good name for it. Plow and Order. Push comes to shove, a little too long. Hell's Grader, too demonic. All right, how about this? Has bull in name. Because the other one is the bully goat, and it also has the same skill this thing has. Has bull in name. That wasn't helpful. Aggressive name for a bulldozer with machine gun. Bull Barrage. That's not bad. That would have been great with a chain gun. Bull Barrage would have been a good name if it had a chain gun. Yeah, none of this was helpful. The push isn't bad. And the grave grader would be great for this one if it was black. And they don't have to both be yellow, but I guess it's kind of irrelevant. All right, I've got some. Hold on a second. When I was a teenager, I used to open my car door to hit those cones. Really? So I had a coworker who had a troubled past. Let's put it that way. And he would tell these stories that almost seemed like fiction about his troubled past. And that was one of them. He's like, yeah, we used to open the doors and hit mailboxes. I'm like, man, wouldn't that damage your car? It's like, yeah, but it was a stolen car. It's like, damn! I said he had a troubled past. It's not my car. Like, he didn't care. Like, wow. When you were a kid? A teenage... Whose car would you use? Was it a stolen car? Are you guys related? Gun grader. Yeah. I like the grader in the name of that. I think get rid of that big old chunk. Big old chunk. Alright, we're looking to see if there's any scraps like this. That, I mean, I got new ones. I just don't want to waste the new ones on it. It was driving at 16, so it's probably when I was 16, 17, or 18. Well, he needs to be able to get in and out of there. He or she, you know, could be a crazy woman. I hear that sometimes women drive crazy. I'm just saying, you know. My wife does not drive crazy. I just go crazy when I'm not driving. Especially on the highway, man. It's just... I'm not a good passenger. I actually wouldn't mind this being on the front of this. I wouldn't mind that. I'm fine with it being left off the sides, but I wouldn't mind this being on the front. Of course, it means we're going to have to kill these little lights. It also means we're going to have to chop this one up, which is the last one I have, so I'm not too worried about it. I have another set of them. So I think what we're going to do is, if we do that, we're going to have to cut this about here and take the same distance and cut it about there. Okay, now we'll take a look at width-wise if we look like we're happy with that. And it's going to be wider than the front, and I'm fine with that. Oop. But just so it looks a little bit more aggressive. I think I need to take one level of this off here. And it doesn't need to like give you like great protection. It just needs to be something there. Just to. I'm gonna take these little lights off. I should be able to. Clip the big part of them off. Yeah, this stuff chops pretty easily. See, that's why I'm a fan of violent video games. Violent video games keep you from driving down the road and knocking down cones with your like, I didn't got to do any of that crazy stuff. Yeah, this is good. And I'm going to leave it at that angle, like that. There's a little bit of an airspace. That's fine. I like the look of that. I'm going to keep those little rivets. That'll gives me a point for this thing to catch on. And like not slide just anywhere. And this is the bottom side that we did. I wish we just had more people. Because I'd love to put little guys like this, like little redneck dudes up here, like, you don't eat that? You know. I just don't have them, you know. I just don't have them. And I've not been impressed what's out there. I've not been impressed with what stuff is available from different manufacturers, other than that particular one, and the guy passed away. Luckily, I got some of his figures. I would have gotten more, but that's why I don't put figures in things. I'm so limited. That's why I haven't done some of those buggies, you know, because they're open top. Like they need a crew. Like if you don't put a guy in here, okay. But if you don't put a guy in an open top buggy or something like that, it'd be like, okay, here's this bike. There's nobody riding the bike, right? Like it's a problem. Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. So I think what I need to do is I need to prime these areas that I've added to them in black. And that's how we'll get the ball rolling. Now, what about this flag up here? Oh, we're going to put this little vent on the back of the dozer because we have this whole area back here that looks empty. The vent would make it look a lot better, even though the engine's up here. Doesn't matter. Stop asking questions. Could put the vent back here. That'd be all right. That would be all right also. Let's put the vent back here. Close the back of that so we can't shoot him in the back of the head. Yeah, I get the killdozer guy and the guy that stole the tank mixed up. put it in the same category. Freaking lunatics. Okay, now we can close that thing up. Now he can't get shot in the back of the head. Now he's got to go through a louver. That's pretty cute. Is it too tall to fit on one of the interior sections? Now I have another consideration I didn't have to consider before. That's close. I think it fits in there. And of course this takes the space of almost 3 cars. That one fits in there just fine. So if I put this little flag on here, that's going to be a problem. Man, it would look pretty cool though. I could also make it just removable, like not glue it on there. I think I just needed attention at that age. I was constantly doing stuff to make people look at me. And now you just don't, and they want people to leave you alone. Hey, look at me, look at me. We had a girl in our neighborhood that was the barefoot girl, because I don't think she went anywhere with shoes on. I'd take my daughter swimming and she'd always want to get your attention. Her dad's over there ignoring her, like, look, it's not my responsibility, you know? You know, if your dad doesn't want to pay attention to you, he shouldn't have had you. I don't know. I don't know that I'm gonna leave it. I don't know. I'm leaving it glued. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it glued. Now, what about this little wang? We joked about putting this on this vehicle. Whoa! It's a lot faster now. Whee! That's waste of a wang. I don't know that it needs this punk ass thing. Now we do have some other scraps here. I'm gonna leave this thing open. This almost fits on there. I take a little bit of the back of this gun off. Now we have a little bit of space for this to fit on there. And this probably wouldn't hurt anything to I'd probably put a hole in it. Like a little. Because the problem with the slit is cutting the verticals. It's a shame that those advent calendars pretty much sucked. Otherwise, I would have loved to have done an advent calendar and we'd just do an unboxing every day. But they were like $30 for like 24 days worth of stuff, and only 10 of them were actual vehicles. The rest of them was just crap. And actually, the actual vehicles were pretty lame. Nothing I really tripping over to get. We're going to have to leave this morning to go to... I got to go grab some wrapping paper so I can get that done while the girls aren't here. Just makes it a lot easier. They'll be back on Monday. They're going to have a lot of people here Monday after work, so going to be not the normal schedule next week, starting on Monday, but I should be back on today. There we go. There's that little slot. Wasn't too bad. We actually had these ribs to kind of keep us in place. Let's see which side fits better. Yeah, something like that. We have everybody coming to the house. We usually what we usually do is for Christmas we usually go to my mom's house for Christmas Eve, and then drink lots of coffee to stay up for midnight mass, and then I do my Christmas Day show later than normal because I've only gotten very little sleep, and then we do Christmas here. We do Christmas Day here, and that's usually what it's been. I'm going to have the mother-in-law and the mother-in-law's boyfriend here, and that sounds like he's some young stag or something, but that ain't the case. Let's round off this corner. Since this corner's over here kind of rounded off, we'll round off this one as well. My daughter has been really disciplined, and we never intentionally did this, but it's what she's used to. You know, when she was little, it takes her to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon to open up all the presents. Like literally, we do like in stages, and we draw it out, and she's okay with it. And I don't know how that happened. It just kind of happened, and that's kind of what we do. So, all right. No, I think this looks. This will look decent. It'll look even more decent when we paint it. I don't know how I feel about the color. Should I keep them yellow, or I could make them some kind of black, rusty hell thing, whatever. The yellow is really good for like rustification of things. And these, when they join them, are definitely not going to be this color. There is no construction vehicles this color. There's some construction vehicles that are almost like the Devastator green, the lime green. I've never seen a construction vehicle in orange like this, ever. You're back on mobile comms, installing all the stuff on the new PC as we speak. Does it have a lot of stuff that you have to assemble, or is it just like, you pre-bought it with all the... Last time I bought a PC, it was just, this thing came everything on. I just had to boot it up. I don't see ever having a desktop one again, ever. If this thing craps out, I'll get another laptop. You pay more for the convenience of moving it around, but I kind of need to move it around. So. Shit, the thing's like 5 years old now. That's disappointing. Well, we'll use it until it starts giving me trouble, and then we'll get another one. I hope I never have to, but that's not usually how it works. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to stop here, and we'll be back and at some point today, and I want to get to those places before I get full of people, and it just becomes more difficult. And we'll be back, and I think I'm just going to prime the pieces black and roll with it. And if I don't like it, I can always respray the whole thing in black and then go from there. But I don't think if I spray the whole thing black and then have to paint yellow all over it, yellow doesn't cover worth a shit. It's going to take a long, long time. So just painting these parts I think is the way to go. So I don't mind the yellow. I got to make them look different from each other. I guess this would be the only team that would have similar looking vehicles. But you don't really need like a purple whatever the hell it's called, bulldozer. It doesn't really work. So pre-built saves money and putting own windows on. Your own windows on. Oh, operating? Yeah, I'm not smart enough about all that shit. I'm afraid of it. Like I haven't even upgraded to Windows 11. I'm scared. I'm scared of. I've had a bad experience with it. I've done an upgrade, not on a PC, on the iPad, and never could run the stuff that was running before. So I'm very hesitant. If my computer all of a sudden like my games the few games that I have on there don't run well, I'm like, I'll probably lose my shit. So what I do is I don't use it to surf. So only thing we do is I just don't want to run that risk. I wasn't using it to surf before anyways. I don't want to get some redirect virus or something like that. All right.